Greetings. This is your brother, Elder Blacklight, coming to you once again. And I've been showing you this diagram or illustration for for a pretty good while. Metaphysical is what some people call this type of teaching, but it's goes all the way back to ancient Egypt or Kemet, talking about the chakras and the different power points. Right here we got 12. There's a book by a Caucasian called Charles Fillmore called The 12 Powers of Man. And he came out with this book, but he puts it under Christianity. And the name of his movement or his temple or church is called the Unity Temple. The Temple. And he breaks down to his people the teachings of really Islam. It's Islam. If you studied the last video I made, uh, Islam is the very nature of who you are. So now we're going inside the nature, and we still exposing those hypocrites because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was teaching what they call metaphysics or quantum physics. He didn't teach it like during Savior's Day or when the masses of our people he would open the temple up or the teachings up to the masses of the people. He taught mostly in FOI classes and on how the black men originated the heavens and whatever. And he would break down the word Allah and the all in all, and he would say that it's in us. And when we're in unity with one another, it's like lining up the planets. We are as one, and that's Allah also. But what had happened, brothers, have gotten away from doing for self. All they want to do is be teachers, but they don't want to do nothing. They get them a building, but they're not working on the tenets that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has on the back of his paper. Muhammad Speaks, and it's in the final call. They got away from that. And they also got away from building up the farms and the banks and the black hospital. So now, if Wallace D. Muhammad, unfortunately, we can't go back in time, but if he hadn't dismantled all the physical assets that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad put together for the nation, it was somewhere up in the millions, multi-million. Some say it was 60 million. But that's a lot of money for back then, and it's a lot of money for right now. And it was like for a small nation, and he had several operations several brothers doing big things, but somehow all that disappeared. And Mr. Farrakhan, when he had the Million Man March, he had accumulated a lot of money, and Gaddafi was giving Farrakhan a lot of money, but he didn't flip it. He didn't turn it over. You know, see, that's what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is famous for turning his little donations and money and whatever. He turned it over, flipped it, and he didn't have no one he owed money to, you know, and he was just making profit. And they say he left that in the hands of Farrakhan. But before that, they said it was Wallace D. Muhammad. Wallace D. Muhammad got rid of all of that. Then Farrakhan joined with Wallace D. Muhammad, and so did Muhammad Ali. And nothing became of none of that. It never did grow. It was supposed to grow. Matter of fact, we were supposed to have a black hospital. Now, can you imagine if we had a black hospital? You know, what would this corona pandemic, we would have black doctors that we could trust, black physicians that we could trust, and you know they would have been wise enough if the vaccination, if we needed a vaccination, the vaccination would have been clean. It wouldn't have been nothing in it to get rid of us. It might have been something to make us into Superman. You would never know. But I want you to pay attention. I'm going to go to the Supreme Wisdom lesson. Because we got two choices. We either separate, or we either take this land over and make a government for ourselves. Don't copy off of the devil's government. And that's what so many brothers doing now. They want to have it both ways. They want to have this devil government and independence too. The government to leave them alone. And that's an idiotic approach, because you multiplying. I mean, the black man is getting, producing babies. They're not producing babies. We finding out that we all the same, the Mexicans and the Puerto Ricans. A lot of us know that we the same people. And Africa's over there, and they want the United States of Africa, and they gonna claim us. So that's not realistic that the Caucasian's gonna accept you and leave you alone. He's running game on you. Either we gonna separate, or we gonna have to get rid of them. Check this out.
Lessons by Master Farad Muhammad to his servant, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, for the Lost Foundation of Islam in North America. To the Muslims of Number 1 Michigan, the following is the original rules of instruction to the laborers of Islam, and the title of Muslim given by our Savior before his departure, with a footnote of a few words of explanation to lay pressure upon their minds of their many errors in the past and present, that they may see the light and walk therein. I thank you, Elijah Muhammad. Instructions given to the laborers by our Savior, W.D. Farad Muhammad. 1. The student must study his assignment, lesson number 1. Each student should copy the answers of lesson of Minister Elijah Muhammad and study until the student is able to memorize by heart all answers to of said lesson number 1. Note: Here, lesson number 1 is said to be the student's assignment first. Lesson number 1 lays the base of our work today and gives the student a clear knowledge of himself and his heavenly home, the best part of the earth, and who was the enemy to him and his nation, and why the enemy and righteous could not live together, and why was the righteous able to cast out his enemy. This teaches the student what he must do with the enemy of the righteous today. The righteous nation is now living in every part of the planet Earth. Therefore, the enemy must now be removed in every part of the planet Earth.
The enemy must be cast out from every part of... That's lesson number 1. That's lesson number 1. The enemy must be cast out from every part of the earth. We are not using all of our powers. Right here, it's got the will, understanding, imagination, and it shows you where it's at. We don't even know we got these powers. We got them. The Caucasian got them too, but he's lacking in the quality and the quantity, because we the original. So how can an artificial imitation have what we have? That's why he's the master of tricknology. He lies. You know, he lies his way, but he's so convincing in his lies, and we still under the spell of the opposite attracts. We see beauty that we don't think we got in the Caucasian. We don't see the beauty within ourselves. More to come. This is Black Light.